So, hello and welcome to this review that is going to be very long and very in depth because I've seen a lot of reviews so far that just do not do anything for this game. They literally just talk about how the game looks like shit, and then they say it plays like shit and the game shit, and then let's just leave it at that. And that's all that they do. They don't add anything else. They don't add any depth. They don't tell anything about the game. It's like they don't know anything about the show or the depth of like a lot of content that isn't there, and a lot of things that were just thrown in a big pile of mess. So this is getting put up on YouTube. So if you're here and you're on YouTube, please subscribe or come to my Twitch. It'll be in the link below. There, I will put it in there. So if you want to come on over and hit that follow, that would mean the world to me. And yeah, Twitch, I'm doing this live because I want, if anybody comes in from chat, I want to have more than just, me. If somebody comes in that has a different opinion and a different aspect of how I'm feeling about it, then they can talk about it too, and I can see them and we can talk about it at the same time. So then I'm going to upload this to YouTube once I am done with this. And then you guys will be seeing it. So enough of the bullshit for 2 minutes. 2 minutes in, trust me, there's going to be a lot of bullshit and a lot of things that I am very mad about, and a lot of things that are lacking, should I say. So, and I'm going to give a score. I'm going to give a review score too at the very end. I'm going to give an entire score by the end of this game. End of this video, this review, and you guys will be seeing it. So, anyways, oh, and I'm also back on PC too. So I've been playing on Xbox because you can only get it on Xbox or PS5 as of right now, and you cannot get it on Steam. So I literally bought it on there, played it. Then I moved my room around yesterday, so then I was trying to clean up and get shit put back where it was meant to be, and then finish it. And I got on at like 10 o'clock at night and then beat it at like 12. So I've got topics. I've got 5 points of things that I've got issues with, or things that I want to discuss about the game. And each point I've got them wrote down so I can actually discuss them and talk about them and things like that. And it's going to be it's gonna be a long one. So sit down, listen, please. You can play me in the background if you want to. And just enjoy, because I'm gonna get mad at some points and I'm gonna get pissed off, and it's gonna be pretty good. So, all right. So point number 1. This game, one thing that I might add, point 1 is plot and skipping major plot points and not knowing what's happening during the game. Okay, so we've got a plot that is absolutely rushed to no end. This game is like 6 episodes. It feels like it should have been like 6 episodes long, just rushed into like it literally feels like it's 6 episodes long, 4 seasons worth of content that is just like 6 to 8 episodes long. Even if that. Like, you've got some aspects where it's just like they go from one scene and you jump to the next and you don't even know where you're at. You'd have no idea what's going on unless you watch the show. If you have not seen the show, this game is literally not for you. This game is so far like from that. It is not meant for you in no way, shape, or form. You know, one thing I did not do, and I need to check my microphone. Let me do that real quick. Do my phone? Yeah. Okay, so you've got so many points in the game where you go from scene to scene and it just jumps back. You literally have no clue what is happening. So let's just start from the beginning. So you start the game, you wake up in the hospital. Okay, makes sense. You get out. Yeah, I think everybody's seen the very first episode of the show. If you haven't, go do it right now. Fucking perfect, fantastic, absolutely 10 out of 10. Okay, and me doing this review is coming from a hardcore Walking Dead fan that knows every single aspect of the show. And don't think I'm going to be light on it, because by the end of it, you'll be surprised as to what I give it. Because I know there's a lot of fans out there that are delirious as of right now, and it is pretty obvious, and they are just throwing the fact that the studios, AMC included, mostly AMC, just didn't care, and then they just threw it out there. But don't get me wrong, though. If they make these changes and these fixes, this game could be great. If they add extra content, this game could be great. Fix the issues, game's great. But let's go back to it. So Rick wakes up, blah, 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 escapes, stuff like that. He makes it out alive, goes down the street. Morgan is there, and you see him, you talk to him, and then you get set through this tutorial state where the tutorial state is literally like Morgan telling you the sensical things of how the game works, like not really like how the apocalypse works. It's just, hey, this is how the game works. You're gonna run through these steps, and then like you just met him, and then it takes you no longer than 5 minutes to get through it, and he goes, Rick, you're a good man. What the fuck did Rick do? What did he do to help you? Dwayne isn't even there. It's literally just Morgan. And it is literally baffling to hear him say, Rick, you're a good man. And when I first heard that, if you go back to my stream and you watch me play that, I am so confused as to why he says, Rick, you're a good man. He says that to him in the show, but it's because of all the things after the fact that Morgan helped bring Rick in. He helped him learn about the apocalypse. He helped him heal. He did everything that he could to get Rick back on his feet until he could actually leave on his own. And then Rick took him to the police station, got guns, gave him ammo, they all took a shower, all that stuff, that he gave him his own car, all that stuff. Rick got his gear and stuff like that all on, and he looks at, and that's when he tells him, he's like, Rick, you're a good man, all these things that you've done. But then in the game, it's just like 3 to 5 minutes worth of him just talking to you about tutorials of how the game works, and then it's like, Rick, you're a good man. Whoa, how you don't even know him? How? It makes no sense. You literally don't even know the man. You don't even know him. It's actually insane. It's super weird. And then, what else is there? God, going from that sense, then like you getting your police gear on and stuff like that, and then Rick goes, and then there's the tank scene, and it's nowhere near like what it is in the show. Very lackluster. A lot of the zombies and stuff are just like they just like in the streets. Like, it makes no sense, because they've got them like all compacted into one specialty of like where the tank is, and then you've also got the points where you're like trying to get there, and it's like everything is just set up and designed perfectly to where you've got certain spots. Like it's super weird, like with that whole tank scene. And then you play as Glenn, and then Glenn sets off a fire truck to lure them away. But then the spot where you went into the tank at, where all the zombies were, there was no way for them to escape. Somehow, once he sets the fire truck off, now they can just escape, and then they're just gone when Rick leaves the tank. And like my thing too with the plot, since I'm talking about the plot, just so you guys know, if you absolutely love the plot of seasons 1 through 4 of The Walking Dead, you are going to absolutely hate the changes that they make in this game, because the plot lines don't even add up. Okay, and this is why. This is a game about Destinies. This is a game about plot lines that you can change. This is a game about different like life choices, that you can save a character or you could kill a character. But instead, it's like, yeah, so man, I'd like to see how it play out if such and such did this or such and such did that. But they absolutely change everything about the plot line. The plot line doesn't even stay the same from the show carrying over to the game. And how does that make any sense when you're like, if you wanted to make every choice that Rick made, you can't. You actually cannot make every choice that Rick made from the show, because there is missing characters and there is missing plot points that you have to fucking skip over. So the point with one big plot detail that I'm gonna give away, spoiler alert, I mean, you're here to begin with, this is a review, so I already said at the start it's gonna be in depth. You choose between Maggie or Beth to come with you with Shane, when you're playing as Shane, to come with you to the gym. You guys go to the gym, you guys go there, and you guys have to get the medical supplies for Carl. So then you're on your way out, and whether you pick Maggie or you pick Beth, Maggie or Beth trip and fall, and you have to make a choice to either save one of them. So like if you chose Beth to come with you, it would be Beth that trips and falls and drops the medical supplies. So you have to choose between Beth or the medical supplies, because Otis is non-existent. He doesn't even exist. So Maggie and Beth don't even get to make it together to the prison. So you don't even get either one of them if you choose to save Carl. So it's either keep Maggie and Beth and make it to the prison, or lose your son if you're playing as Rick, or if you're doing a playthrough of Shane, losing Carl. So Rick will lose his son, and then or lose Maggie or Beth. So the plot line's already diverging there, because you lose the people already at the start that you were like, hey, I'm going to do a playthrough of exactly what Rick did. Oh, man, I can't wait to do that. And you can't even do it. You literally cannot even do it. Same with, I'm going to say right now, I'm going to get that out of the way too, the tank scene. Season 4, Episode 8, Too Far Gone. One of the greatest episodes ever in history of television. That is such a fucking fantastic episode. And they fuck it up. They have it where Herschel isn't even in the lineup. He isn't even there with Michonne. It's Glenn and Michonne. And you have to pick between Glenn or Michonne. Okay? It's not Herschel and Michonne, it's Glenn and Michonne, because yeah, that makes fucking sense, because because Herschel plays absolutely no part. I'm gonna wait because my second point is characters, and I'm just gonna tell you right now, Herschel is one of the absolute worst characters that you will ever fucking meet in a video game. Dude, I absolutely love him in the show. He is perfect in the show. But good God, he is fucking horrendous in this game. He is just so disgusting in every which way, shape, and form. And he always says the same lines over and over and over again. There is no new lines from him. He just keeps saying the same shit over and over again. And he is just annoying as fuck. So yeah, and then we're, we skip and do this, blah blah blah. Then you're playing as Shane again, sorry, you're playing as Shane is the first time. Playing as Shane the first time, okay? You're playing as Shane the first time, and then you got to pick some food for the group and blah. You got to bring it back, and then you go back, and then poof, Rick is back. There was really no development between none of the shit. You guys just all made it back. The entire group just made it back. There was no oh my god, that the episode when Rick meets back up with Lori and Carl. It's so great. But then in this, it's just oh yeah, hey. There he is. Oh, there he is. Your dad's back. All right. And then the game just throws it out there. It's just done. And then, and then you literally skip over absolutely fucking everything. So you are out and you're doing something. I forgot what it was that you were doing as Rick. Rick was out doing something, and then the camp gets attacked, and then you have to come back, escort Lori, Carl, and I think that's it, to the RV, and then you have to escape and get in the truck, and then you leave the camp, and you legitimately just gone. There is no CDC, there is no build up, there is nothing. You guys just leave. And then you go to Herschel's farm. Because because it cuts straight to the scene with what the fuck was it? It was, you're cutting straight from, I need to go back to my stream now because I want to fucking see this. You literally cut straight from yeah, here it is. You literally cut straight from yeah, you guys are on the side of the road. That's right. You guys are on the side of the road. You stop, of course, and then that's when Sophia runs off because zombies and stuff show up, and then you gotta, then she hides, and then you gotta fight off some of the walkers and shit. And there's this one where you gotta run around, and you gotta survive for so long, and then you gotta kill them all. Then you go back to where she's at, and then she's gone, and then you fucking and let me see. Let me get to it here. Yeah, within the span. Holy shit, dude. In the span of 2 minutes, and then Carl is just laying on the ground. Dude, there is literally no time frame in between. I literally cannot skip too far ahead. Yeah. Yeah, Carl. Okay, so it literally you lose Sophia. So Sophia's gone. She gets, and then you come back up, and you're like, yeah, so she's gone, blah blah blah. And then Rick and Shane get in our argument. A deer shows up, and then Carl is there and is amazed by the deer, and then he he looks at it and is like, oh my God. And then gets, of course, shot like he does in the show. But there is no build up. It's just, he's just shot. Like, it's like, oh my God, look at the deer. It's so majestic. No, nothing. It's literally Shane and Rick fighting, and then he gets shot. And then Rick carries him to the farm. But it just cuts to you at the farm. There is no build up of how they even get there. Nothing. He's just there. And then, I don't even know. Dude, like, dude, there is literally no time frame between the two when they actually. Yeah, nothing. Absolutely fucking zero. And might I add too, the one that shot the deer, they just don't even know where the fuck he's at. First of all, I would like to know too, I just realized now that I'm going back through this, they did not even know how to get to the farm. It was just, they were just there. They were just at the farm. It was just boom, they're just at the farm. It literally, Carl's just laying on the ground, literally covered in blood, bleeding out, and they're just like, Rick picks him up and poof, they're at the front door steps of the farm, as if they just knew where to go. No Otis to show him his way to the farm, nothing. The one that shot the deer just didn't, they just didn't know where he came from. He literally just, the guy who shot the deer was never shown and was never seen. He's just gone. He's just, nope, sorry, he don't exist. So the guy that shot him, you guys didn't find him or see him or anything like that. He's just gone. He's just gone. But then you somehow arrive at the front door steps of the fucking farmhouse. Okay. And then you go, of course, through all these different fucking missions and shit, and you're getting all these supplies, blah blah blah. And then getting to a major part is when Sophia walks out of the barn, but it's just such an awful buildup that it is literally like it is super sad, because it was like so lackluster, and it was just like, okay, and kill all these walkers, and dude, they literally just spawn. They just spawn and spawn and spawn, and then you just kill like more than what should fit in a fucking barn, and then you cut to then you go to the cutscene, and then Sophia walks out, and then Rick shoots her. But it's like so goofy, because it's just like you don't really get any like cutscenes. Don't get me wrong too, I like the artwork with the voice, with the voice lines in the background and stuff like that. I'm not against it at all. But man, there are so many scenes that could have used a cutscene, because there are scenes in this game that have cutscenes. But there are so many scenes in this game that could have used cutscenes, but they didn't actually get cutscenes, and it lacks. Like that scene in particular, when Sophia walks out of the barn, it should have been a cutscene. I don't give a fuck. I don't know whose decision it was, but whoever it is out there, and if you're hearing this, you did a fucking awful job. You should have done a cutscene for that. Without a doubt, a cutscene for that. You should have had it. I don't care if it took you 2 days to make it. 2 days would have been well worth it, and I would have praised you for it and said, man, I'm glad you put a cutscene in a spot where it deserved it. But you didn't. You literally didn't. And you just skipped all the way over it and just said, we're just going to put screenshots of artwork up, and then boom, it's over. And then it cuts from Sophia walking out of the barn to Rick and Shane having a discussion, and then Shane's just like, we made too much noise. And Rick's like, what? And Shane goes, we made too much noise with that gunfire. And Rick goes, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Like, we should go check out, see if there's any walkers along the fence. And then it just cuts to Rick just somehow knowing that Shane wants to kill him. It literally just goes from Shane saying that, and Rick's like, okay, let's go. And then Rick's like, so is this how you want to do it? Is this how you're going to kill me? And it just like, it just escalated super like quickly to the point to where you are losing track of everybody who's playing this game that hasn't watched the show. And then it goes to a boss fight between Rick and Shane. Of course, you get to pick between Rick or Shane. So then whoever you pick to survive is the one you play as. If you want Shane to survive, you play as Shane. You want Rick to survive, you play as Rick. But my thing is, you have a point where Rick is like where I picked Rick, I'm killing Shane. But it's like this like long drawn out boss fight, like no deep like speeches that they did like in the show. Like, it was so good, man. So good in the show. Like deep speeches in the show and shit or anything like that. And it was just, shoot him 60 times, he falls down, and then you got to do round 2 of the boss fight, and then you do round 2 of the boss fight, and then it is finally over. And then he kills Shane, and then he just walks away, but then Shane gets up as a walker, and he kills him. But Carl doesn't, which is super weird. Super weird, okay? Rick just turns around, walks away, and then shoots him once he gets up and comes back. And Carl isn't there like he is in the show. So, like I said, if you want to go down the same route and see the same thing in the game, oh man, that'd be cool as shit, right? No, Carl is nowhere to be found. Carl just don't even exist. Carl's just there. And so you then go back and the barn's on fire and you're like, oh my god, the barn's on fire. And then Herschel, if you're playing as Rick, you help Herschel up, but then Dale has lived beyond this point. Dale died an episode before Shane. Dale died the episode before Shane. Okay? But since they skipped it, Dale is still alive. If you choose to keep Rick alive, Dale dies when the farm gets attacked. If you choose Shane, Shane saves Dale when the farm gets attacked. And so then you go to the prison. It's literally just like a fucking just jump straight into it. Just super jump. Like, oh man, look what we found. And it's not even, oh man. Don't even get me going on the cutscenes, because the cutscenes that we got in the trailer are nowhere to be found in this game. So, and that's my last point. That's point number 5 is the misguided advertising, because they advertised that it would be the same scenes as the show and we would actually get to see it play out with different characters, but it's nothing like it at all. Literally, if you're playing as Rick, it's Rick and Daryl in the woods, and they literally, no fucking joke, the farm gets attacked, and then Rick and Daryl talk for literally about 30 to 50 seconds, and then they literally look just out the fucking forest, or out the fort or whatever, and they're looking through the trees, and they look and they see the prison, and they're like, oh man, that could be a really good place right there. And then it just cuts to them being inside the yard of the first fenceway when they first got in and shit, but they didn't like clip their way in. They just were in there. They just morphed inside, and they slid the gate. The first sliding gate opened. That's where they were at, and then the next mission is you have to actually kill all of them, to make your way inside and stuff. And then you make your way inside and things like that. And then you playing as 3 different characters, playing as Rick, Daryl, and Carol. But then you only come across one of the prisoners. All the rest of them don't even exist. They are not even there. It's only Andrew. And Andrew, whether you pick to keep him on your team or to kick him out, if you choose to kick him out, Lori dies. If you choose to keep him, Lori lives. But Carol dies. So, yeah, it's very like kind of weird because, like I said, you literally got Daryl and Carol, but like Carol, Carol's like what? Yeah, I think it's like I think Daryl and Carol's in that room, and if you're playing, Rick comes in and then it's like, and and Carol says something along the lines of, "We can't trust him," and blah 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 blah. We can't trust him. We can't have him on the team. You know what we need to do, Rick. And even though I chose to kick him out, Carol still acted like I kept him with us. Like she's like, I told you, Rick, that we couldn't trust him, that we couldn't keep him with us, that he wasn't safe, and that we should have done this and that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I kicked him out. I didn't keep him with us. And then the person's getting attacked, and then my game glitched. If you go through my stream, you'll see there's a dead corpse on the ground with a blanket on top with blood, and Daryl's in the room with Lori. Well, I found out from a guy that was in my stream who had played it and had a different outcome that did the other one where Carol died. That person underneath the blanket on the ground is actually Carol. But I had both. And then Carol spawned behind me and she scared me. She literally morphed out of nowhere and just appeared. And just poof, she was behind me, but made like a loud noise, and it scared the shit out of me because I didn't even expect it. Like she just spawned like in the ceiling and then fell and was like, oh, and like made a loud ass noise. And it's because the game thought I killed, like the game thought that she was supposed to be dead, but then it morphed her and realized the choice I made, but it still kept her dead, but then brought her back. It was like, it was really bad. Let's see what else. I'm just gonna skip some of these points because I can't, like, I could go on and on about all the shits they missed and all the points that they missed because, man, they fucking missed so much. Like when Michonne was at Woodbury, oh my Jesus, dude. They skipped the entire portion of that, and it was so fucking broken because it acted like it said when we first got there, when Michonne arrived at the prison, it said a few days ago, and then it showed her arriving at Woodbury. Cool. But if you keep Merle or T-Dog alive, so say you keep Merle alive, Merle's just there. You don't get any surprise. Merle is just there in Woodbury with the governor. He's just there. There is no, oh, look who's here. Oh, look. Or if you put T-Dog on the roof, T-Dog just appears there with the governor. There is no in between. It's just, he's just there. And it is literally the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen, because the point in the trailer that they had was, oh, Merle says his line like he does in the show. Well, why don't you give your old pal Merle a hug? It could have been the same thing with T-Dog as well. And then it was a mixture where you could actually see him and you would see how he would say it. But they don't even do that. They skip over that entire thing. And there is no cutscene of that. There is no pictures. I would have even took pictures. I don't even give a shit. I just wanted something to show that he's back, or one of them's back that you pick from. One of the two. There was nothing. It literally just jumped from Michonne arriving at the prison to showing what she was doing a few days ago, and she was in Woodbury. She just arrived, and then Merle's there, or T-Dog is there, and they just appeared there, and you're like, oh wow, they're alive. If you have never seen the show before, you wouldn't know. It's like, you wouldn't know. And you wouldn't know what's going on. And you're like, okay, wow, okay, wow, look at this, guys. I haven't seen the show before, but I'm playing the game, and yeah, you don't know what's going on because you haven't seen the show, and you are getting screwed because of it. And I am so sorry for the ones that haven't seen the show and are playing this game, because you literally don't know what is going on. You are so lost, and you are lost at all fucking every which way you're lost. I knew where we were, but was still getting lost to the point where I was like, oh wow, we just skipped this entire section of season 3. We just skipped all of this. Wow, that sucks. Okay. And then it shows it was supposed to say a few days or something, like a few days later or a few hours later where Michonne escapes. But instead it says a few days ago, because they didn't even change it. They didn't put the effort in to actually fix it. So they just put it in there twice, and I was so lost. Like I didn't know. I want to go back through my stream and just to make sure I wasn't going insane when I played it. But holy shit, man, I was so lost at that point. Let me see. It was right here. It was after the bug, after I fixed that bug. So this is when she arrives. Here it is, yeah. And literally, you just skip around and you're in Woodbury. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, she leaves and stuff. And then you make your choice. Gonna keep Penny alive or kill her, and then that decides the fate of the governor and who will become the governor. So if you have T-Dog that's alive, T-Dog will become the governor if you spare Penny, but if you kill Penny, the governor stays the governor. But even then, the governor does absolutely fuck all. If you decide to spare Penny and you get him on your team, you don't even know that he's on your team, because he is never in anything. Okay, yeah, it says a few days ago. He is never in anything. He literally is just there in the HQ at one point in time. Like, he's just there. Okay, so yep, so here it is. It says a few days ago. Now we're going to go to the next day. And it is like so fucking stupid, because I didn't even realize that he was with us until I looked up in the balcony and seen him up there with an assault rifle. But then he was just like poof there. And it was like nothing. Like, all right, now I'm gonna see the moment of truth. It said a few days ago. Let's see what it says when you start this mission, the second mission with Michonne when she escapes. Let's see what it says. But man, oh man, it is like he doesn't even exist, because he has no effect on the tank scene at all. He literally shows up. You have him. Yes, I fucking knew it, dude. It does say it. It says a few days ago. That's literally what it says. So it says a few days ago, episode 15, when Michonne is talking about where she was and all that shit. Then it goes episode 16, a few days ago. So you and both scenes are in sync. So it goes straight from Michonne and she's talking with, for say, I put T-Dog on the rooftop, and the governor on the rooftop. And then they're like, okay, this is where you're gonna stay for the night. So she goes in there, and then she waits till it's dark out, and then she goes and she peeks outside and says, okay, then now I can leave, I can escape, now I can get out of here. She fucking, and then it cuts and it goes to the next episode, and they're both in sync. Instead of saying a few hours later, it literally just says a few days ago, as if Michonne she peeked out of the doorway. Now it's a few days ago from that scene, because that's where we left off, was she's looking out the doorway and she says, okay, now I need to leave. Then it just goes black, gives you a card of what the plot is, and then says a few days ago. And I literally, when I played it, I was so fucking lost because I said, okay, so is this before that? Is this like where, like, what are we doing now? Like, because it didn't explain anything. It literally just said, yeah, so she's gonna escape. And I said, okay, well, how is this a few days ago if she just got there today? How does that make any sense? So then you go to escape and stuff, and then that's when you decide to kill Penny or spare her. And if you keep the governor alive and you put T-Dog on the rooftop, then T-Dog becomes the governor, or Merle does, and Merle becomes the governor because you spared Penny, and the governor comes on our side. Or if you decide to kill Penny, then the governor turns out to be who he was. And then, yeah. So you've got all of that in between, and then it cuts to, so you're doing all that shit, and then you're sneaking your way through, blah 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 blah. Then you gotta oh, yep. Then you gotta escape as the governor, just get out, and then you guys leave, and then Daryl, they have the Daryl fight and shit, where Daryl has to fight either the governor or Merle. So I don't know. I didn't get to see is if you saved or if you killed Penny and T-Dog was on your side, if you have to do Daryl against T-Dog. I didn't really get to see how that played out. But yeah, so then you go from that point to the next point, and it just skips to all of that. Carol is trying. Then you do a mission where Carol is going to find supplies and shit because we need guns. So that it was literally just, it just cuts to her just going to get guns, and she's getting guns and shit, and then we're doing the fight, and the fight in the pit I thought was going to be so much more cooler, and it was just not. It literally was just, you can just spam to hit them and they can't do shit back to you because they didn't program them right during that fight. You can literally just hit them, and then they die. But you got to do it like 2 boss fights, of course, like round 2 type shit. And then you do, let's see what else. God. After that point, plot wise, it just all, if that seemed bad, yeah, you're in for a lot more, a lot worse, because it just keeps falling apart and they just skipping literal episodes. So Carol's going to get the supplies. Yep. You do the pit fight. Oh god, then you do the dreadful mission where you're playing as Rick and you run around and blow up trucks and shit. And that mission absolutely blew. Then you actually, and then you cut, and then it literally cuts to you going to save Daryl and getting out. And if you spared Penny, the governor's on your side, and they both, and you save them and they get out. Okay. Then it cuts straight to, it literally skips from that point to where you save them and Woodbury burns down, and it skips straight to what I think is actually a great little mission, which I thought, I wish they would actually like make it a game mode, where you play as Daryl and he tries, you have to walk around and kill any of the walkers that are on the fence. I thought that little mission was super fucking cool because I always wanted to have that in a Walking Dead game, and they did it. They executed it perfectly. Absolutely so fucking well. The fence, the grass, the way that the wood was pushed up against the fence to make sure that it doesn't just fall in, because all of them that are, that have began to push up on it. I thought that shit was so cool, and they did so well with that. But you only get to kill 12 walkers before it's just game over, and you got to go to the next mission, even if you don't want to. Like, they should just make that a game mode upon itself. Like, that should be just a game mode on itself. But it's not. And I wish it was, because, dude, I would fucking love that. Like, that one was fun. Playing as they're going around and you stabbing through the fence. Like, that was super cool. And then you go straight from outside the fence straight to inside the prison because the flu has broke out. Literally skipping straight from where we left off to straight to the flu. And then by the end of it, Daryl has it instead of Glenn. Super weird why they changed it. I don't know why they changed it, but yeah, so now Daryl just is sick. But it doesn't matter though, because here's why. It goes, Daryl gets sick. So Glenn, Michonne, and Beth or Maggie, depending on who you chose to live. Mine was Beth. Beth, Michonne, and Glenn went out. Glenn and Michonne get captured by T-Dog's men / the governor's men / Merle's men. Like I said, whoever you have survive, live and stay as the governor and shit, and and so forth. So then it cuts straight to them getting captured, and then Beth makes it back and stuff with the meds, and then I literally skipped over a useless fucking scene. Yes, I did. I think, not mistaken. No, actually, that one is actually after. That's okay. So then it cuts straight to that, and it cuts to them going to get medical supplies for Daryl and the rest of the group so that they can, get rid of the flu and shit so they aren't sick and they can heal from it. He is fine by the start of the next fucking mission. Like, he's just fine. He's just there. He's there. Oh yeah, and when Glenn and Michonne get caught, Glenn is still in the HQ with you. But if you walk up to him, you can't talk to him. He's just there. He just stands there. He doesn't do anything. He just stands there. And it is absolutely hilarious because I said, sir, you're not here. You are captured. Why are you here right now? And so then just before that one where you actually went and, I think it was before you went and got the medical supplies or after, Rick. Yeah, it was before you took Glenn. It literally was so useless, and that's why I literally forgot it, because it is, to me, by far, easily the worst mission in the entire game, because it is pointless, and it is fucking super fucking dumb, and it is the worst mission in the entire game. So before you guys go get the medicine because they're all sick and stuff like that, Rick goes out to go get more supplies and stuff, and he goes back to Atlanta, okay? But get this, my game, or the game as a whole, was glitched, and it said episode 21. Or no, sorry. It was supposed to be episode 21. So it went from episode 20, but get this, it said episode 1. They forgot to add the 2 in front of the 1. That's not it though. So it was supposed to say episode 21 and then supposed to be clear, but instead it was episode 1 Days Gone By. They didn't even put in the effort to add episode 21 and change the name of Days Gone By, because that was the very first episode. They just copied and pasted it on episode 21's. Just because they just said, fuck it, I'm just not going to add anything else. We need to push the game out. Here you go. And they didn't even fucking change the name or the episode. It just says episode 1 for episode 21. And then it has the wrong name for the episode. Yeah, and you are just there, and Morgan is on the rooftop, and he's shooting with a sniper, and there is literally, and I mean literally, hordes of zombies, and it is almost impossible So I was trying to get the achievement because you aren't supposed to get shot by him when you try to make it to him. But oh my fucking god, there is literally hundreds of zombies, and I'm not even lying to you. I literally was trying to run past all of them so that I could get to him, so I could just end it quickly. I literally beat the mission in like 3 minutes, like 2.5 minutes, even if that. It was the absolute worst mission and shortest mission in the entire game. I ran through all of it, and I looked back at the halfway point, and the entire back half of the map was full of fucking walkers because they just kept spawning, and I almost died, but I had to crouch underneath this part, and they can't get past it. So then literally, I could not see anything back behind me. It was so bad, but I kept getting grabbed because the game has just got a shitty grabbing mechanic in it where every little time you're near one, they just grab you. So then I was trying to get to him, and then more of them that came from in front of me and just spawn and spawn and spawn. And then all you got to do is grab the box, move it, and then you're good to go. You literally don't have to do anything at all. It's literally just grab and you're good to go. Like, grab the box, move it, walk to the front door, and he's like, "Oh, Rick, I know who you are, Rick. Rick." He's like, "Oh, I need to clear." And he literally talks to you. He's just like, "Yeah, take some of the supplies from the back," and then something like, take some supplies from the back, and I'll do." I don't know what he said. He said, "I'll do something," or whatever. It was just like, "I'm gonna go do this," and it literally ends. He literally says like 10 words to you, 5 to 10 words, like, and then it's over. Oh, dude, that's what I'm gonna get it to. And point 2 with the characters, absolutely fucking. Morgan was fucking awful. So yeah, he's just like, "Yeah, grab the supplies, blah blah blah," and then it's just like, "Yeah, okay, cool." That's not how it went down in the show. Yeah, so far from that shit. So far from that shit. So yeah, then we go to getting the medical supplies. They get caught, blah blah blah. Michonne and Glenn are there. Then you gotta fight this fucking fight, and then they have more cutscenes in the ending of the game in the very last episode than almost every single episode combined. And it was like, I could see where they put all their effort into, but it literally lacked in every fucking which way. Like, it literally lacked. And then they just showed pictures of the different ones that made it out, and that's all that it was. That was it. And then you had a boss fight, and then it ends. Oh yeah, and like, that's it. Like, that's legitimately it. Like, you just blow up the tank. You just shoot the tank with a gun, and it hurts it to the point where it's like, it can't move anymore. Like, it makes no sense. It literally, like, they could have had it where you had to pick up an RPG and shoot it until it was hurt enough, and then Daryl comes up and throws a grenade in it because you got to play as Daryl. It's almost like it is the same in the show, which is cool because he has to, he throws a grenade in the front of the tank, rolls down, and then blows up inside. But T-Dog for me was inside, and the grenade blew up, and T-Dog was just fine. And then there was a boss fight between Rick and him. Yet he was inside the tank when the nade went off. Like, yeah, okay, sure. That is fucking so shit. And then you do the boss fight, you kill him, and then you leave. And then it cuts to the sign out in the front for Terminus. They literally have the Terminus sign not but like 20 feet, at least like, it's like 20 yards, 30 yards away from the front of the prison fence. As if it's like, that's how it happened in the show. And they're like, "Yeah, and until next time," but they didn't say that. But it's like, as if that's what they're gonna, like, if they do any DLC, this is where it's gonna pick up from. But they literally had fucking the sign for terminus outside of the prison, and it literally was right outside the fence, and you could see the flames from that are right up next there near the fence of the next to the fucking prison when it's on fire. And it's like, okay, who from Terminus came to the prison and just wrote this sign and just said, okay, well, if they see it, then they see it. Well, and just so you know, anybody that hasn't seen the show or anybody who hasn't seen that far into the show, where Rick and them, where Rick and Carl find it, which is Rick, Carl, Michonne that find it. That's because they're all split up at this point in time. Where where they find those signs for Terminus at? It is at the railroads, because the railroads all lead to Terminus, and they have signs and maps up showing them, if you take this track down this way, it will meet where the train station is, because that's where Terminus was. It was a train spot where all the trains would go to. That is where it led to for Terminus. It wasn't like, oh, we put a stake here and we're gonna tell you to come to this place called Terminus and there is sanctuary there. Please come here. Please, we just hope you know your way here. We just hope that you know the fucking way, because we aren't gonna give you a map or anything like that. Like, it literally is on the outside of the fucking fence, outside of the prison fence, and it just says the same thing that it says from the show, but it doesn't have a map. It literally is just words on a board. That's it. There is no map showing them where to go. It doesn't say follow, if you go down these tracks and you follow the railroad tracks, it's going to lead you to Terminus. No, it literally, in the game, it's just words. Please find us. Oh well, if you don't, because there's no fucking map. But yeah, if you haven't seen the show, that's how it plays out. It is hooked up. They put the signs up next to the railroad tracks so that when you come across the tracks, you'll find it. And if you want to go there, you can go there, because you just follow the tracks and it leads you there. Because yes, that's how it works. The tracks lead to Terminus because it was a train station depot. It wasn't like, oh yeah, just fucking follow this road north and hopefully you'll find us. No, they give them the map and they show them the railroads, like all the different railroads that are spread around there that lead and intertwine that reach the same place in the middle. And so if you do, you just gotta keep following this train tracks, and that's what it says. And that's what it does. That's the whole fucking point of it. That's the map. That's what it's for. But instead the game's just like, Terminus, come here, there's sanctuary, blah blah blah. That's it. There isn't shit. It literally is just absolutely, I literally laughed at it when I seen it at the end. I was like, what the fuck is that? I said, that is not how it worked. That is not how it played out in the show at all. And anybody that has watched the show is gonna laugh at that, like me. So yeah, I think that pretty much sums up my fucking points of the plot. There was so much missing, and it was so fucking awful. I need to take a drink. So yeah, what I just summed up to you was what I just summed up to you was literally the entire game. The most important aspects of the plot that were changed from the show, they literally just threw it in there and just said, fuck it, and this is what we're doing. And yeah, it was so fucking dumb. It was super dumb, the things that they changed, because everybody thought we were going to take Rick and just play as him and we could do the same plot lines, because that's what they advertised. They said, oh, you can play as Rick Grimes and go down the same path as him, or forge your own future and change others' destinies. And that is not even how that works. Not at all. Nothing is almost everything. This is a choice-based game. and we thought we were gonna get the choices to change what the show could have, did, and what the show did, and change it, and be like, oh hey, the show's gonna be, you can make the same choices as the show, or divert and go, okay, I'm gonna play as Rick, and I'm gonna make my own choices. But that's pretty much it, though. You are playing as Rick, and you're making your own choices, because almost every fucking choice you make isn't even the same as the show. So, let me go point two, moving on to characters. I've still got 3 more to go after this, so I'm just gonna skim through the characters, because pretty much the ones that I want to discuss mostly is Herschel and Morgan. Those are pretty much the only 2 characters that I can think of off the top of my head that I just thought that just were so fucking bad, and were just so almost so useless. It's same as Dale though too. Dale was oh my god, and Dale, oh my god, never mind it kicked in. Dale too. Dale was fucking awful. So I love Herschel in the show. I love Dale in the show. But good God, dude, Herschel just keeps saying the same thing over and over again, and he is not the same character as he was in the show. He reminds me more of Herschel from the comic books. And Herschel from the books, I did not like, because he just wouldn't change his ways. He was like, oh, God's going to take care of this. God's going to heal us. God, this, God, that. And it was just, God, it was annoying. And at least in the show, they made him absolutely perfect. They fixed every flaw that was wrong with him that I had an issue with from him in the book. And he was so fucking good. He was the man in the show. He was the fucking man. He was perfect in the show. He was perfect. Top 3, top 5 character on The Walking Dead ever. He was perfect. Dale. Same with Dale. I love Dale on the show, but good God, it sounded like Dale from the books. And he was just talking about his wife. And that's every time that you would talk to him. He never had a point. He never had any point in the story and the plot line. He just dies, and that's legitimately all that they give you. That's all it does, is he's just there to die. Every time that you're in the HQ and you walk around and you see all of your group and stuff like that, and you stop to talk to him, every fucking thing he has to say is about either how old he is, or about how his wife had cancer and she died, or this was about his wife and such, and his wife was like this and his wife did that. And that's literally all he talks about. He doesn't have any good dialogue that progresses his character. It's just the same thing said over and over and over again until he's dead, because they just found a guy to just say a few lines and then pay him and then just kick his ass out. That's literally what they did. And Morgan. Last but not least, those are my 3 major characters that I just fucking wish weren't even in the game. Morgan. Oh boy. What can I say about that guy? I mean, I pretty much said and talked about him at the start of the fucking stream and the start of the video, about how he just is just there to help Rick through a tutorial phase, and then just, yeah, okay. And then you're a good man, Rick. You're a good man. And he doesn't even know anything about him, but you're a good man, Rick. No. Shut up, Morgan. Shut the fuck up. And then we go to the fact of the clear mission, and the clear mission is just so, oh, that was the worst mission ever. Oh my god, dude. You're like, oh, you're clear. You got in the show. Was so good when we got to see him and he came back. God, that was super cool. That was so cool. I remember watching that when it aired and being like, man, oh, he's back at 6. It was so cool. It was so cool. Super cool. And two, just so you know, I watched every episode when it dropped. Episode 1, Days Gone By, aired on October 31st, 2010. I was there. I was 11 years old, and I watched it. And I watched every episode from then on, never missed one. I know everything, and absolutely. And Rick and Michonne show drops. I'm so fucking hyped for that. God, it looks so good, dude. The quality. Anybody, you guys got to go see it. You guys got to go watch it. It looks so fucking good. Oh my God. And it comes out, if I'm not mistaken, February 25th is the official date. So let me check my calendar. I've got it. Oh, trust me, I got it set. February 25th on Sunday is the day. So then, Morgan was just fucking horrendous. He literally had the littlest lines that you could ever ask for, and he's supposed to be such a key, important character for Rick, and who helped him at the start, and he just was absolute shit. Moving on to number 3, locations and reuse locations, but pretending to be new. I'm gonna give you one location here and just telling you the aspect of it being reused, and they pretending it to be new, and they literally pretended that it was new. It was so the mission when Daryl was out on the road, and then he is in the warehouse. He's in this warehouse, and he's getting supplies, and then he looks down and sees Michonne. This is when we first meet Michonne, because they had to change it, of course. And we find Michonne, and we help her escape. We have to help her escape, and then that's when Daryl gets captured. So the Michonne finds her way to the prison to tell Rick in the group, or Shane in the group, whoever you keep alive. Then, when the flu breaks out, they give us the fucking warehouse that Michonne was at, and then they just spread medical supplies around it that are just on the on the tables and shit. But it's not medical supplies. It's just like little glass, like little small things. Like when you get a shot and they poke the shit in through the top of it, that little glass thing, and then they suck out the shit in it, and then they give you the shot. That's legitimately what they did. They just said fuck it and just put those little things. They literally put like a little tray of them across that map and then said, yeah, ship it. That's good. And you can go to the exact spot Daryl found Michonne and look down through the glass, and then walk downstairs to the point where Michonne was at, where Daryl gets caught. And then that's also where Glenn and Michonne get caught, might I add, too. That is literally the same warehouse where they captured Daryl, but also the same warehouse where they captured Glenn and Michonne for the ending mission of the game. Yeah, pretty fucking sad. And it was literally the exact same thing, and everybody acted like they had never been there before. So yeah, they literally just said fuck it and called it a day, and said, yeah, we're just gonna reuse this asset, and we're not gonna try, and we're just gonna say that and we're just gonna say that they that they just don't know what the fuck this place is, and they're just gonna act and pretend they don't know. Like when Michonne was in it, Michonne was like, oh my god, I have never seen this place. I hope we can find the supplies. Oh, I hope I can find Glenn, because Glenn goes missing first. So then Michonne tries to go find him, and then Michonne's like, oh, I hope he's over here. I hope he's right over here, and I hope that he isn't lost. I just need to find my way around here. I just need to know because this is a new place to me. I don't know what this place is. Ha ha. And then she gets took, and then Bet's got to go find her. See if she can find him or not. And then she has to leave because they're caught. They get they get took. And then she has to leave. But they literally act. Michonne was literally there, and she fucking pretends that she didn't. She doesn't know the place, and she has like no clue. Like what that place even is. She's well, it's new to me, huh? And then the same thing with the very first starting mission with Morgan. They just for the clear mission, the short ass fucking one where you just run through and then you just fucking get to the doorway and then it just ends. You don't get to see them do anything, get any supplies. You don't even know what they get. You don't know anything. Yeah, they literally just reuse that starting and just like put shit spread about, so it's like a little maze for you to guide through, and you find your way through, and then it ends, and then boom, and yeah, there's so many reused locations, and it is absolutely so shit. And so then they also did that shit too. And then same thing with that too, where it was the Woodbury missions. Not saying that, oh well, yeah, you need to expand the Woodbury location and things like that. No, Woodbury is just a little community. Yes it is. So it's not a big deal. So they can just make it they could just make it in that little town portion, and then with the buildings and stuff. So they could do that easily, which is what they did. But there are so many missions that are inside those walls that they don't do shit with. They do absolutely fuck all with it, and they don't go anywhere else with it. They just say, you're just gonna be in this fucking little town part, and then Rick just needs to shoot these trucks and explode the trucks up, and then it just ends. Nothing else. It just stays there. It doesn't. You don't get anything new. You don't get to see any new houses. Nothing. It's just you sneak around. You make it to a point, and then you get there. It is useless. It is fucking pointless. Absolutely fucking pointless. Same with the prison as well. There's a part with the flu where you go in the door, you walking down the hallway, you get to the point, there's a person that's sick with it, then you make it through the cell, you get to the other side, and then you kill a bunch of them, then you make your way wrapped around to cell block C where the group is at, kill a bunch in there, and then the door opens, and the door literally leads you back to where you began, because they somehow couldn't just walk through that door because it's just locked, because the game said, no, you need to use our little fucking square that we have set up for you, and we just want you to walk through there so that it makes it seem like it's thought out and planned out, and it's just not reused. So yeah, yeah. When you literally just lead back to the same point that you go to, and then you go back to where you began, and then a door gets open behind you, which makes no sense to me, because how the fuck did they even get in there to get to that point? When they get to cell block C, you have to walk through where the group is at, yet they were on the farthest side of where they were at. So it makes no sense to me. Yeah, locations and reused assets, and just them trying to not do things. Same with the one Carol mission. The one Carol mission seemed like it was the same exact warehouse, and it looked the exact same as the one with the Daryl mission where he found Michonne, and the Michonne, Glenn, and Beth mission. It looked the exact same. Carol was just there, and it looked the exact same as that one. It was like they just didn't change anything up, just made it like a little maze for you to walk through. And then you found ammo supplies, and then you left out of the exit door, and that's it. So, all right. Moving on from that, because yeah, there's a lot of locations and shit that was just reused. Going to point 4, bugs and glitches. So, may I add, PS5 was broken, and you couldn't even get past the gym part. It literally would just black screen, and then you would spawn back in, and you couldn't leave. It literally would just lock you inside the gym, and you couldn't leave. You couldn't do shit. There's supposed to be a cutscene after you kill the boss. That the big fucking the big heavy zombie. It's supposed to go to a cutscene, and then you're supposed to go outside, choose the fate of ever Beth dies or Carl dies. You don't get to do that. It's just it just game just froze and you were just done and you were just stuck inside the gym. So PS5 players had to wait almost an entire day for them to actually get it, the patch to fucking play the game and finish the game that they bought for $50. Might I also add, the update to patch that little fucking fix for the black screen and for it to queue a cutscene was 30 gigabytes for PS5 players. Pretty sad, but yeah, 30 gigabytes. So then we go to huge bug and huge glitch that needs to be resolved is the push off. The push off animation when you get grabbed is fucking horrendous. So your player will push off, but you'll just morph through the walker and you won't actually push them. It's just you're just morphing through them and you're just going through them and it's just game over. Boom. And you have to run away. You just morph through them as if nothing happened. It's just, yeah, morphing straight through. And if you don't like try to roll away or run away as soon as you push off, you'll get re-grabbed again. Like you will literally just get healed, or you'll literally just get grabbed again, and it is so fucking dumb. Same as I was seeing some others play it as well. They could just hit through the walls. They could the NPCs can shoot you through walls, and you can also take like a bat and swing it through a wall, and you can kill a player that's on the other side of the wall. A bat, an axe, anything. You can just kill them up there on the other side of the wall because that makes sense. Yeah. I really think that's the I as for the bugs and glitches aspect. I think that's pretty much it that I'm actually thinking of that I can actually see. Besides some of the walkers on Xbox actually didn't glitch out, but the ones on PS5 just didn't work. I was watching this guy play today and they just kept getting stuck. They literally would just get stuck on a curb. Like the curb would just it would be the road and then the sidewalk, and they couldn't get up above the road. They try to get on the sidewalk and they just get stuck, and they would just like stand there and just walk. They would just stand in one place and walk because they couldn't get up on the sidewalk. Same as if you're trying to move like from a fence, like if they're trying to get you and you're on the other side of the fence and they're trying to walk through it, they would just get stuck because they would act like there's a fence there, and then they would just get stuck there. So besides my point of it, I think that's the only bugs and glitches I ran into. Besides that, the start of the game, I lost sound at the start of the game, and then it just appeared. It literally was just gone for the first like 2-3 minutes, and then it was just there again. It was fine. Besides that, yeah. We're gonna wrap it up here pretty soon, probably in the next 12 minutes, if I can spit this last fifth point out, and that is gonna put us at like an hour and a half by the end of it, if I can explain my reasonings behind it and why it actually pisses me off and why I'm giving the game a lower score than what I gave it last night, because I just literally was at work today and just thought about all the things that was just wrong with this game and things that just fucked up, and if they improve it, I would give it a higher score. And the game's not even out on Steam yet, so That's my thing. Is so point number 5, misguided advertising that should lead to a lawsuit. Yes, I said it. They should be getting sued for this game. I don't give a fuck who or what you think or who you think you are, and if you fucking believe that they shouldn't be getting sued for this game, you are wrong. And you are wrong, and I'm about to fucking prove you wrong right now. So, I want you to go through and look at the trailers of this game and sit there and think to yourself, wow, that would have been so cool to see that cutscene of the game or this scene of the game that they had advertised and that they had shown again and again and again and again, but we actually aren't gonna fucking get it because we didn't fucking get it. So you've got a scene where Rick and Shane are walking out to the, grass farm where you pick either Rick or Shane to die. And they showed the cutscene where Rick kills Shane and he falls over, or Shane kill, where he kills Rick. That wasn't even in the fucking game. That cutscene was not even in the game, even though they advertised that on every single advertisement for this game. Not one singular time did they actually have that in the game. Not one little speck of it. It was just the little artwork that we got and the boss fight. And it wasn't even the same thing that we got in the advertisement trailers. Same as when they walk up to the prison, and when we see the prison, it cuts between Rick and Shane. It morphs between the two, because if you pick Rick, Rick's gonna be. If you pick Shane, Shane's gonna be there. So why is it that they just throw that entire cutscene away and then just cut to Rick and Daryl doing like a conversation in the woods? They look at the prison. They're not even on the railroad tracks. They're not even anywhere. They just look at the front gates like they're not how they are in the show or the advertisement trailer that they gave us. It was just them in the woods looking at it and said, "Oh, this could be a good place." And then it just cuts straight to them being on the outer skirts in between the two fences, where they just simply skipped over everything that the show did and that they had actually advertised, with Rick and Daryl or Shane and Daryl finding the fucking prison. They just threw that entire cutscene away. Same as, oh my god, what else did they fucking have besides those that was in the cutscene that they should be getting sued for? Because let's see, Walking Dead Destinies. I want to look. Let's see. Besides, like, the biggest one, like I said, was the Rick and Shane fight. Like, I really thought that they were just gonna have that in there and you would just pick, and then it would be like they do the speech like they do in the show. Like, I thought that would have been so cool. Just have it to where like they do the same thing where they look at each other, then they're going back and forth with each other. Then Rick, slowly begins to walk up, has his gun out, and then pulls the knife out from behind him and stabs Shane. But instead, it's just a boss fight, and then it just cuts to Rick killing him. Yeah, cool, but that doesn't it doesn't fucking, oh my god, it doesn't give you the same factor. Same as the cutscene with fucking Shane or Rick doing the speech after the farm goes down and they're at the campfire. They're surrounded by the campfire, and then that's when Rick gives the democracy speech. He gives the democracy speech in this show, and it is fucking perfect, and it is amazing. And then in the game, it's just farm gets destroyed, farm burns down. Rick and Daryl are outside of the prison fences, and then poof, they're inside the prison fences. Oh my, how did we get there? We didn't even have a speech that is like showing who's in charge. It's just cutting straight to them being in charge. Like, it fucking blew my mind when that had actually occurred, because I was like, what is happening right now? Oh, yep, and then that as well. So why was that not in there? Why was that not one time in there? So then also the scene with Merle, and I'll add that too. I'll say it again. I know I said it before with the, why don't you give your old pal Merle a hug? They had that scene in the trailer, not one, but twice. 2 fucking times they had him in there. And it wasn't even in there. They just skipped it. You literally just go from Michonne being at the prison explaining how she got to Woodbury. She goes and it says a few days ago, and then poof, you just spawn in, and either T Dog or Merle will be there, and then that's it. Boom, that's it. They're just there. That's just it. That's it. There is no more, no less. It's just there. He's just there. Like, why wasn't the democracy speech in there? Why wasn't the um why wasn't the prison when Daryl and Rick first walked down the railroad tracks and looked and found it and seen it? Why wasn't that there? Why was every single trailer for the game showing cutscenes? If you go back through and rewatch every single cutscene, or sorry, every single trailer for this game had cutscenes, but in the final product, it was, we're gonna give you a cutscene when we feel like it. Like I said, I don't mind the artwork; it's cool, great, but when you're going back through and you're seeing all the false advertising that they gave to us, where there was like, yeah, you're gonna see this one cutscene stayed in the game, but this one didn't, and this is what you were supposed to have, but you didn't. Ha ha ha. They took it away from us and then like lied to us. But you literally in the trailer of the game showed us cutscenes. You didn't give us artwork like you did in the game. You gave us only cutscenes. It was literally only cutscenes, and they could have had it like where Rick and Shane right here, where they're walking out to the middle of the fucking field with the grass, where Shane and Rick, talk, and then that's when you have one of them die. In the trailer, it had them walking out there. They literally just fucking overlooked. They literally just said fuck it and just didn't even give a shit. They just said, nope, we're just gonna cut that off. That's just that just don't mean shit now. Oh, might I add as well too. They also had Shane. They put in the fucking effort to have Shane with his nosebleed and stuff, where Shane, broke his nose whenever he took Randall out there in the forest to go kill him, to act like he got jumped and he broke his nose and shit. And then him and Rick went off on their own, and Daryl and Glenn went off on their own to go search for Randall. They literally, in the trailer, when they announced the game, had Shane with a broken nose, and blood was going down his nose and going into his mouth like it was in the show. And then when I had the scene where Shane, where Rick stabs him, and then they also showed the reverse where Shane stabs Rick. Why we didn't get none of that? We literally got none of that. And I think, like I said, I don't care what anybody thinks. My points and my reasonings, they should be getting sued for this, because it was false advertisement from the start. Every single which way, it was false advertising through and through, with the cutscenes that they had shown, the trailers they gave to us, the just all around everything. And I don't know if it's just because, and this is what I'm gonna say right here, right now, too, the last few minutes of this video, through and through, Was it because Xbox and PS was a test and they're doing work on it currently for the Steam version? Because the Steam version got pushed back. It got pushed back to December 1st. Okay, the game came out on the 17th. On November 17th, 2023. It is currently November 20th, 2023. So, since that is the case, November 17th, 2023 was supposed to be Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PS5 and PS4, and Steam launch. Then the night before, just out of the blue, it was literally like 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, they pulled it off of Steam and put on their webpage that it wouldn't be released till December 1st. And they literally just pulled it out of the blue, and everybody had no idea. They were so confused. They just pulled it out of the blue and said it's not going to launch until December 1st. So Xbox and PS owners got it. Is it because they're doing tests to see if it can take it or not, and they just cut all the content because of that and are going to put all the content on the December 1st update? Like, they're going to work on all the cutscenes and shit, and December 1st there's going to be like a whole like new overhaul, and the PS and Xbox owners that got it on November 17th through November 30th was like a stress test to see if the game could take it. And then December 1st, we're actually going to get like the full package. Or is it just like, nah, they're just going to fuck us and just say, hey, yeah, so Steam owners, you're getting the same game as the Xbox players and PS players, and you're not getting anything extra on the side, and it's just going to stay the same. And I said this too, and I said this last night, and I'm going to say it again. I was going to buy this game for Xbox and Steam in the same day. I pre-ordered this game as soon as it went live. As soon as pre-orders went live a week before. Then I said as soon as it goes live on Steam, I am buying it on there too. No matter what. No matter what, I am buying it on Steam no matter what. And now that I have gotten the game on Xbox, I have played it and I have beaten it, and we were told it's getting pushed back on Steam until December 1st, I will no longer be buying it on Steam. Ever. Unless they add content or put in missions that are missing to actually make the story make sense, give us more decisions that are just not lackluster, give us cutscenes that were cut or scrapped that we should have had to start with. And I will not be buying this game on Steam. I'm just going to keep it on Xbox. And if they decide to do a fucking overhaul and fix it and give us DLC in the future, I will be buying the DLC to see how it is and play it. And I can't wait to see that. I really can't. I can't wait to see if they actually care and fix this game and make it great. But as of right now, missing many cutscenes, missing many plot details, has so many plot holes that if you've never seen the show, you literally don't know what the fuck is going on, and I'm sorry for you. I'm glad that I know everything about the show and was able to keep up, because it at times would confuse me, because we would just jump from point A straight to point Z, and it was a roller coaster of fucking nonsense and a absolute mess. And I get that they can't just jam pack an entire fucking show into a game and have it 6 to 8 hours long. I get that, but you literally could have cutscenes. You literally could just have put cutscenes in and filled it where that's going to be like where we watching the show, and it's going to help us understand more. And then we would just play certain portions of the game like we did, and then just give us long cutscenes to make us feel like we're watching a show, but we're also getting to play it at the same time. And that's what they should have done. But instead, that's not what we got. And instead, we got a incomplete mess that was absolutely just rushed. And the game was rushed. And it was just fucking just, oh. And that's the thing that pissed me off so bad. Because just so you all know, this was one of, and I mean one of my most anticipated games of the year. And if you're hearing me say that and you hate that I'm saying that, I'm sorry, but I am a Walking Dead fan and I am hardcore. And I was so excited to see what this game could have done and what it could have been. What it could have been and the execution of it. But instead, the outcome that we got is not what I wanted. And it was absolutely just a mess and too rushed, and just they could have just done so much more. But instead, I'm hearing on AMC side it was their fault and that they rushed this game out and they forced Flux Games to come up with a tight schedule and then just release the game as is because AMC said you can't work on it anymore, which I've heard of. We've all heard of game dev fucking produce things like that where they're constricted and they're like, yeah, you guys got to push it out now. Yeah, you have to drop it now. You're not going to get an extra year to work on it. You're not going to get an extra 6 months to work on it or even an extra 3 months to work on it. Just release it. Just drop it. Who fucking cares? And then that's where the games sit and is just what it is and what it's known for. It's just being a pile of shit and players will buy it. And then they will remove it from the stores because it's incomplete and it's been done before and it's not going to be the first Walking Dead game to do so. There is a Walking Dead game that was on Steam for like a short period of time and then they just took it off Steam and removed it and it has never been back. Forgot the name of it, but yeah, it was sad. It was sad because I wanted to get it and I did not get to get it. The Steam game removed. I want to see which one it was. What was it called? Overkills is what it was called. Yes, Overkill. Yep, Overkills is and was removed. Yep, and it was said that that it says that we did our best work to start with Starbreeze and resolve many issues that we saw with the game, but ultimately Overkill's The Walking Dead did not meet our standards, nor is it the quality that we were promised. The company told Variety it was terminating its contract with Starbreeze. But you know what blows my mind is you've got like this game here and they literally could have like given it to a studio that literally like you could see some of the passion in this, but it was just super rushed. Like you could see some of the points where they like cared and that was like so cool where they're like, oh yeah, well I'd like to have seen this occur. But, like they knew what they were trying to go for, but they just didn't have it. It just wasn't there. It was just not there. And it just seems like they were just ultimately rushed. Like they were told, you got to make this game in less than 8 months. Do it now. And then pick certain aspects of the show that you loved and just remake them for a game. And that's what it seems like to me. That's literally what it seems like to me. And I'm sorry, Flux Games, if you guys do love this show as much as I do. But from the looks of it, it just seems like you guys were rushed. And if you guys do love this show, please come back and fix it and take your time and make it better. And I will come back and give this game a better score, and we'll be doing a re-review if it does get better, and if there is DLC, and if you do add cutscenes, and if you do just fix the issues that many of us, all of us, to be fair, if you go onto YouTube, everybody has the same complaints. Yeah, everybody has the same complaints about the game. And it's just calling it shit. But that is where I am going to give my official score, and I have got to come out and I have got to say that I give it a solid 4 out of 10. Because there are still aspects of the game that I like. The Walking Dead. For me, 12-year-old me absolutely would have fucking adored this game and would have thought, yeah, 12 years ago, this would have been the best game on my fucking Xbox. But it is 2024. And The Walking Dead Survival Instinct with Daryl and Merle is a better game than this one. Saying it right now. Easily a better game than this one. As of right now, it is better. So, yeah, Destinies a solid 4 out of 10. I could even at some points go as low as 3.5, but I will not go that low just for the factor of they have shit to work with. They just need to go back and fix it. It is not horrendous. It is, but it is not great, and it is on the verge of okay. Like, it is like, it's okay. Do I want to do a playthrough of Shane? Yes. Do I sadly have the will to do it? No. No, I do not. I really don't. Sadly, I don't. If they add extra content for Steam, I will be doing a Shane playthrough on Steam. If they do what I said, just like I said, fix the things that are broken, make it better, add content, make the story make sense, because there's so much of it that doesn't make sense. Add cutscenes that actually show us, like, make us watch a show. Like, I fucking want that. Just have aspects of playing the game, and then cutscenes, long cutscene, and then me playing the game. Cutscene, make it make sense. Will I be playing through a Shane? If they do that, oh fuck yeah, I will be, and I will be giving a re-review of the things that they fix and they actually adding to it. And I guarantee you, if they fix some of the issues that I named off, I could give it a easily, I could give it between a 6 to an 8 out of 10 if they fix the issues that I have with it. Graphics aside, I don't care. I think the game looks good. Character models need to be fixed. Yes, they fucking do. Daryl needs to be slimmed down a little bit. He's a little too chunky. He's a little too fat. Rick needs to have his face fixed a little in the cutscenes, but when you're playing as him, it's weird because he looks more like Rick when you're playing as him. He looks like Andrew Lincoln when you're playing as him during the game than he does during cutscenes. During cutscenes, he looks horrifying. Same at Merle too. God, Merle looks like Merle when you're seeing him in the game. But when you're in a cutscene with him, oh my god, a cutscene of Merle is like scary. And yeah, that's where I leave it. I'm gonna have to end it here. Yeah, you hear me loud and clear, Flux Games. Come through. Don't be afraid. Fucking come forward. Come forward, admit your wrongdoings. Admit what you fucked up on and fix it. Trust me, the fans will come back. The fan base will be large. Somebody like me that will support this game. If you fucking fix these issues, I will be here. It was so fun playing it through the first little bit, but then it just fell apart during like the middle of the game to the end. Like the middle to the end, it just fell apart. It was just some of the missions were just so annoying, and you just didn't want to ever play again, which makes me like not want to do my Shane playthrough because it was so annoying to do some of the missions. So yeah, I could play through the first half. Like I enjoyed the first half way more than I enjoyed the last half. But yeah, it was most definitely Flux Games. Please fix this game mill. Keep your nose out of it. Let Flux Games do their thing. Please don't fuck this up. And AMC, same as you. Keep your fucking nose out of it. Let 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 the devs, Flux Games, who is the devs, just so that anybody knows too that is actually seeing this, Game Mill is not the devs. Flux Games is the devs. Game Mill is the one who produced it. They were not the ones behind it that made it. They are not the devs. Flux Games is the devs. So yeah, Flux Games, if you fucking work on this and you make it better, I'll be here for it. Trust me, and I will buy it on Steam. Mark my words. I promise you right now, if you fix and add content, I will buy it on Steam. But for right now, 4 out of 10. Sorry, but that's just what it is. That's just what it is, and yeah. Please make it better. Please. If not, I literally would prefer to go back and play Survival Instinct on my PS3. That's all I beg. That's all I want. Please. And that is going to wrap it up, guys. I am going to get out of here. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to hit that subscribe, comment your thoughts too. I don't think I even asked you guys to start. Comment your thoughts on the game or how you feel about it or what they could fix. Not just, oh, this game's shit, it looks like shit, it plays like shit. Please. Plot lines, what they should add, what shouldn't be in the game now, what should be in the game, cutscenes, things like that. What can they do to add cutscene wise, gameplay wise? Like, what can they add to make it better? What would make it better? And yeah, leave a comment below what you think. My Twitch is gonna be in the description. Hit that link, hit the follow, please. That means so much to me. We're almost at 50 followers. We're so close. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.